Right now I'm about less talk, more action, but the ultimate thing coming from me, I'm ready.
Fight fans, welcome back. A 5-year collision course that now looms ever closer.
This is the biggest fight in boxing. This may be the biggest fight of all time.
Though taking two very different paths towards the same dream, the pair have always had plenty to say.
Joshua, where are you? Where are you, AJ?
Here we look at all the trash talk so far between AJ and the Gypsy King.
We've agreed to fight subconsciously without even mentioning it.
If you're not prepared to fight, say f***ing sorry publicly.
Welcome to a Motivedia presentation.
What would be your dream scenario?
My dream scenario would be to knock his head off.
Listen, he'll be an easier night than Deontay Wilder, and I'll take all bets again.
As it stands right now, both men appear ready to get it on. And after the demise of the heavyweight triangle's third apex last year, there's never been a better time.
It was just about I want to go through 2021. I want to get my hands on the belt if I can next year.
How exciting is it going to be when those two are in the ring and the referee says like that, he looks at the timekeeper and that bell goes. This is heavyweight boxing, anything can happen.
And he's in real trouble here in London.
After beating Pulev at the end of last year, Joshua was quick to realign his focus towards his British rival.
Whoever's got the belt, I'd love to compete with him. If that is Tyson Fury, let it be Tyson Fury. It's no big deal.
Whilst Fury, as usual, had plenty of fuel to add to the fire.
Joshua just himself live on television. He got asked did he want the fight, and he went around the bushes and put his arse on the edge. I want the fight. I want the fight next. I'll knock him out inside 3 rounds.
Boxing fans are eager to witness the crowning of boxing's first undisputed heavyweight king in over 20 years.
Who wants to see Anthony Joshua box Tyson Fury in 2021?
And so, from their perspective, any other showdown at this point simply won't do.
That is the best heavyweight fight and the biggest fight that can be made right now. The winner would be the undisputed champion by any measure in the heavyweight division.
Who wins? You're going to go Fury, obviously.
My man, Fury. Fury!
Oh.
But I'm just saying part.
Since their days wearing head guards on the small hall circuits, both men made their own type of noise.
And this is a spirited rally. Come on, Josh, you can do this.
A contrast in personality saw the more brash and loud Fury living in the moment.
I'm Tyson Fury. I'm the best heavyweight on the planet. This idiot's getting knocked spark out.
Whereas Joshua's vocality always revolved around his positivity and forward thinking.
That's just in my nature to work hard. I gotta live right outside of the gym.
Okay.
And I sparred with the ABA champion.
Joshua?
Yeah, he's red on him. He's very good.
The main recollection from their early days was Fury's appearance on BBC Radio 5 Live with Steve Bunce, where he had nothing but praise for the young London fighter.
For a 1-2 left up and a slip and slide, and I thought, he's not that good, I'm going to take me down. Bash, hit me a big uppercut right in the point of the chin.
As the Fury come down, and then my coach said, this is the guy in the paper who's saying if he can get knocked out, then he gets a Rolex watch. So he's a gypsy warrior, he's hungry, and that's it. So we just had a good, tough, all-out heavyweight sparring session.
I'll tell you what he is though, he's very, very, very good. He's only young, 20. Watch out for that name, Anthony Joshua. He is one prospect.
In due course, his words materialized, though you'll be pressed from this point onwards to find many other words of admiration.
This kid will take anybody on, anybody, within reason. You know, you don't have to have him dug up out the graveyard for this lad. This lad is a real deal.
Here he is, the great new hope of British boxing.
Yeah, but I think he's really going to be popular. Frank Bruno was the most popular British heavyweight we've had. I think this fella could rival that.
Naturally, both had one another on their radars, though it wasn't until Joshua captured Olympic gold and bulldozed his way through his first handful of professional fights that things got serious.
A really sharp, hurtful combination.
Just so exciting for British boxing. What you're seeing is the evolution of the next heavyweight champion in the world. I have no doubt this boy's going all the way.
This clown's getting knocked out, and I don't care if Eddie Hearn thinks I'm getting beat or not. He's getting knocked out. You're going to have egg on your face. Listen, I'm the man in these shows, me. No Joshuas, no Chisoras, there's no other heavyweights apart from me. There only ever has been me.
As long as I'm competing and I'm winning, that's so important to me. That comes first. And the people
loving me or hating me. I can't decide that.
What advice would you give Anthony Joshua?
I'd say just listen to yourself. Don't listen to anybody else. God forbid anything went wrong. You can't blame other people and start pointing the finger. Always know that you're only to blame yourself because you made that decision.
And now we go to the big boys of boxing, the heavyweight division.
On a fast track to a world title, Joshua was hot on the lips of the British press.
The 23-year-old from Finchley who clinched gold.
Joshua's an Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist.
10-6. Just look at the camera when you're ready to do it.
However, with the Gypsy King preparing for the biggest fight of his life out in Dusseldorf, he was quick to shut down any comparisons.
It's obviously an easy fight for me. He's a big muscle-bound divvy. 5-6 rounds, tongue out that fight, I'll stop him, right? Novice at the moment. They don't want someone cool, calm, collected, tall, dark and handsome, can speak. They want a dummy fool who can tell what to do, like Anthony Joshua. Ooh. If you're not prepared to fight, say fucking sorry, publicly. Because I'm not interested in your little dickhead who's had 8 fights, but I will knock him cold out for you, no problem.
Added stock, like who is this Fury guy that stings after? Who is that Fury guy that got dropped? Who's that Fury guy that uppercutted himself in the ring and managed to still win the fight?
I think that David Haye would have knocked out Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua is still raw, he's improving a lot, but I would say so that he would have won this fight too.
It's a long time above war, protect yourselves a long time. Let's go.
Right hand from Fury conquered the division's long-reigning super champion before becoming a victim to his own success in his well-documented downfall.
Fame, glory, titles, a wife, a family, kids, everything. But I felt as if I had nothing. I felt there was an empty, gaping hole that was just filled with gloom and doom, and it just was one bad thing happened to me after another.
With Fury out of the picture, the spotlight burned even more brightly on Joshua's imminent rise to glory.
Fighting for his life now, and he's down again, and it's all over. Anthony Joshua does it again, still world champion.
Sit down with your team and you'll talk about future opponents, but who do you want to fight next?
Well, I think it's going to have to be the likes of Parker. I was really looking at, the Furies. Either one of them, unfortunately, I hope he gets better soon. We're going to have to reschedule that, and in the meantime, we can look at other opponents like Parker, if he's vacant, or anyone else that the people want.
I rate Wilder over Joshua. I think Wilder put his fist right through big AJ. Big bodybuilder, blowed up like a balloon.
Despite being inactive, Fury would still appear on IFL interviews and be seen ringside at some of the fights where he would take shots at Joshua, Wilder, and the rest of the heavyweight high flyers.
I'll fight you in your back garden like a dumb Klitschko. I'll beat you, you bum. You're a bum.
People do want to see the fight between me and you, AJ. The world wants to see it because I am still a lineal heavyweight champion, and everybody knows that.
One of the current heavyweights at the moment could ever be considered the man of their era, unless they beat me.
I ain't knocking anybody, it's not up to Joshua. Joshua's got about as much brains as in that bag of washing there. He ain't the brains of Britain, Joshua, is he? Yeah, man. Stay humble, yo. You keep it real, man. I'm a gangster, me, trying to be a good man. So what?
Though, as his own world looked to be falling apart, fans saw his comments as bitterness, with many doubting he would step foot in a ring ever again.
So I've got me sense and brains to speak and enjoy life. So if I never box again, then I've done well, but if I do come back, then I'll give it my best.
And as I said, I'm not into the business of ducking no one. The man who talks less is the man you need to be worried about. Talk is cheap.
With the animosity growing and fuel being added to the fire, Joshua began to bite back.
Tyson Fury thinks he'll beat me, and he's willing to prove that. Eddie Hearn thinks that I'll beat Tyson Fury. I feel that I'll beat Tyson Fury. It's not just Tyson. Everyone gets a response, but it's them talking about me. I'm not in competition with anyone, man.
And beating mutual opponent Vladimir Klitschko by late stoppage, his ring work was speaking for itself.
What fitness, what heart from Klitschko, but the fight has been stopped!
I've got him out of there, that's what I'm about. And Fury! Tyson Fury, where you at, baby? Tyson Fury, I know he's been talking a lot and he wants to come back and compete. I just want to fight everyone, man. I'm really enjoying this right now.
What do you make of Joshua fighting Gerald Miller?
I think it's an entertaining fight between two dusters, really. Yeah, it'd be good for a giggle, wouldn't it? Two low-level bums fighting it out on that stage, that level.
The next 12 months sparked a fire in Fury, and against all odds, he would return to the ring.
Could be one of the greatest comeback stories in British boxing history.
He maintained his unwavering confidence, ridiculing the other two heavyweight kingpins in a way that British boxing fans had become accustomed to.
AJ can't box. He's a big old wooden top like this here, looking for a big right hand and a left hook. He couldn't even do nothing with Joseph Parker, and he's a very, very, very poor man's Tyson Fury.
However, this time, Fury's reach crossed the seas.
Then I'll come for Wilder, because Joshua's out, so I'll apologise for him, and Eddie Hearn, no balls, but I'm the man. I'll fight you, no problem.
That's waffle. He said that Charles Martin was going to beat me. He said a lot of things, you know, so you start to realise that this person's just talking for the sake of it. Fury will be a real breakdown job, a real gruesome type fight. Tall, and I think he's a bit of a nut job, to be honest with you.
He battled through 12 hard rounds, surviving the last, to be hit with a dubious draw decision against the American champion.
The decision is a split decision draw.
There's another certain heavyweight out there. Buck.
All right, what?
Chicken! Joshua, where are you? Where are you, AJ?
An unbelievable noise. Expectation.
And so instead, it would be Joshua to drop the ball first.
Catches Joshua.
That night against Ruiz Jr., that swung the entire narrative on its head.
AJ was like, oh, this big great thing made out of marble, and everybody loved him, and then he got knocked out by a fat guy, and now nobody likes him anymore. It's like the bubble's been burst. Cliche in boxing. When you've been pounded, nobody wants to know because everybody loves a winner.
Tyson Fury said you should retire if you don't win this rematch.
You know, who is he to talk? Did he help me get into boxing to tell me when I should leave it? No one can tell me when to retire except for me.
What's happening, AJ? How are you, mush? And then we have a little bit of back and forth, and I tell him I'm going to knock him out, and he tells me I'm going to knock you out. And I said, after your last performance, mush, you need a lot of improvement to knock me out, I'll tell you that.
And the fight is about to begin.
Which leads us to right now.
I'm ready to go now. I can fight him in that ring tonight.
After plenty of verbal punishment, Fury overcame the Bronze Bomber in devastating style last year to validate every single word.
And he's gone! The king has returned to the top of the pro.
Likewise, Joshua returned from the Ruiz loss with conviction and put away Pulev in similar fashion.
It's over! A sizzling AJ reminder as he retains his world heavyweight belts. Anyone for Joshua Fury and a double dose in 2021? Yes, please.
Of course I want to challenge. It's not about the opponent, it's about the legacy and the belt. Whoever's got the belt, I'd love to compete with them. If that is Tyson Fury, let it be Tyson Fury.
I don't think you'll get much bigger than Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. I think you could sell 2 Wembleys out for that.
With both men showing their ability to rise to the occasion and adapt when it matters, the respect is undoubtedly there.
When are we fighting?
When are we fighting? Behave yourself.
It sounds like 2021.
However, both champions are equally as eager and equally as capable of taking all the gold in boxing's premier division.
Here we have Anthony Joshua, big weightlifter, Olympic gold medalist and world champion. I'm going to face him, I'm going to jab his nut in.
So you don't envisage you knocking Fury out?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Fury's mind games will be on form.
I still kick his ass any time of the day. Doesn't matter anyway. I think it's going to be one of the most explosive, quickest fights we're going to see. I'm aiming to take him out in the inside 4 rounds.
Joshua's resolve will be stronger than ever.
What would be your dream scenario?
My dream scenario would be to knock his head off. The press conference antics, the fight antics, the hands behind the back. He's a warm-up act. He's there to do all that stuff, but ultimately my job's to close the show, and that's all that matters.
And the gloves are off feature with Johnny Nelson will be a spectacle in its own.
2 of the most volatile heavyweights in the world today. Now they meet.
He's the only one left that I haven't beaten. Immortality awaits. I'm 1 win away from it.
Darling, Without you, I'm a shadow boxing amateur. I'd rather die today than go 12 rounds without knowing you. When I met you, I knew I'd met my match. The kind of match that gets big hype and ends up in a major venue. We fit together like a hand into a 12-ounce glove. I promise to always be in your corner, face every challenge, and will never throw in the towel. I'm getting on my knees. Don't leave me down for the count. Say yes, and we'll ring in a new life together. Please say I do to the next Motivedia presentation.